Hi everyone, don't know if you can hear me or if there's anybody here yet, but I'm just doing a couple of last minute tasks and then I'll be with you very, very soon. So if you're here, just say hi while I'm just sorting these last few things out. Oh, I can see people. Fab. Marcia, hi Marcia. Hi Alison, hope you're okay. Hi JD Cougar. What are you saying? Glad I was on at this time. I have been missing time slot often of late. No worries, you're here now. Hi Lisa, hope you're okay. Hi Barbara. Amanda, I'm feeling a lot better, thank you. I'm just setting up my different cameras, so you just have to bear with me, everybody. I'm just running a few minutes late, but hopefully. So JD Cougar saying it is chilly here in central Washington state today, but no snow yet, expecting a little tomorrow. Oh, okay. Well, the temperatures are dropping here in the UK, but I don't think it's snow weather. Hi Anna, I'm fine, thank you. I'm just trying to set up my cameras. Right, I think we're nearly there. How are we doing? Let's see, I'm just going to have a quick drink of my juice. Alison's saying that you're both well. That's good to hear. And you hope that I'm okay. Yeah, I have to say, touching wood, my headache has been gone now for a couple of days. So I, excuse me, think that I'm, on the road to recovery. Hi Alison, yes, I'm fine, thank you. Are you? Catherine's saying glad I'm feeling. Hi Karen. Catherine's saying that she's glad I'm feeling better. Philippa, hi Ashley, welcome back. You're welcome. Right, can you see my desk? Everything looks as though you can. You just wouldn't believe what I'm sat surrounded by, literally 3 phones and an iPad. I don't think people realise how much goes into these YouTube lives. Right, so I did some fabric, didn't I, a few weeks ago, if you remember, with the fabric mat and the fabric blade. And then I've been doing some fabric projects on and off. And, oh, let me just get rid of this. Hang on. Sorry. Okay. So for anybody that is new or doesn't know, this is the fabric blade and mat for the auto blade machines. Hi, Barbara. You can see fine. Lovely, thank you. So the machines that have the auto blade technology are the SDX machines and the DX machines. And this mat is for those machines. But you could do this project with a CM900 or a 600, probably even a 350. You just might have to deal with your fabric a slightly different way. So you'd either maybe have to stabilise your fabric, cut your fabric between 2 layers of freezer paper, that way you don't have to put any iron on the back of your fabric. You could have completely bare fabric and use the adhesive support sheet that goes on, you know, a low tack mat. You could stiffen your fabric. There's lots of alternatives, but obviously I've got the SDX machine now, and I've got this mat and I've got this blade, so I'm just making a project with it. So I've literally been making these coasters, just simple fabric coasters, just made from simple basic squares, but this is all cut directly with this fabric mat and this new fabric blade with my SDX machine. So I'm going to attempt to make one of these live tonight. So hopefully we're going to get the fabric loaded up in a minute. I'm going to draw on my sew lines with the ScanNCut machine using the seam allowance. I'm going to get this blade to cut it all out, and then if everything goes according to plan, I'm just going to flip the camera and try and sew it while we're live, if anyone's interested in that. Now, just while we're here, I don't know if any of you have been following me on Instagram, but I've been making these little coin purses as well, and these are aligned with a zip, and this will be a video coming to my channel. I can't remember when. It's recorded and edited and it's been uploaded. I just can't remember when it's scheduled for. But these were made from a basic shape within the ScanNCut machine. So, you know, utilising what's already built into the machine and this fabric mat, I've been making some fabric projects. So let me just see, I've just seen a comment that's just said, Anna's saying, didn't know there is a special mat for fabric. I'll have to check that out. Yeah, Anna, as I say, it's for the machines that have the auto blade technology. So any of your DX machines or your SDX machines. And the code number is CADX, M for mother, ATF for Freddy 12. And you know it's the fabric mat because it's got this kind of, I call it gold, I don't actually know what it is. It's like a browny, tanny kind of goldy colour. And the blade has got the same colour top, so you know that these two go together. So let me see if I can flip you over to my machine. In fact, no, sorry, I'm just going to flip you back. Oh dear, I don't want to make you dizzy. Let me move these out of the way. I'm just going to peel the plastic off my mat, so it might make a bit of a loud noise, so just bear with me a minute. Just putting that out of the way. Mandy's saying, hi Ashley, hope you're feeling better. I am, thank you. It's been a grey and miserable weekend, hasn't it? Yes, it has. Literally every Saturday and Sunday in the UK, well, especially where I am in High Peak, kind of North Derbyshire, it's been awful. Alison is saying, got my coffee and ready to zap the trolls. Oh, fab, Alison, thank you. You're on troll duty. Brilliant. Because when I'm trying to concentrate, I don't always see them. If I see them, I'll try and zap them myself. But yeah, troll patrol. We'll have to make you the official troll patrol person, won't we? Karen saying, thank you for the lovely gift, Ashley. I'm going to put it in my new craft room, which we have been doing all weekend. So I'm going to do a video, and it's, oh, you got it. Brilliant. Yeah, I got Hannah to post it the other day. You're welcome. For anybody that is wondering, the vinyl little craft sign that I cut a few Sundays ago in a Sunday Live, I drew a name from people that made a comment, and Karen was the name I pulled. So it got sent to her in the post. Right, so let's get going. So let me just see. So I've got 2 bits of fabric. I'm try and get them in the shot so you can see them. This is just, you know, like quilting weight fabric. It's just fabric I had in my stash. This fabric, actually, I made a little girl's dress from it quite a few years ago, and I don't think I did a video about it, but I think I blogged about it because I was really chuffed with myself being able to follow a pattern and make a dress, and then I actually sold it, which was lovely. So this is the fabric I'm going to use. Ellen is saying, hi Ashley, hope you're feeling better now. Ellen from Yorkshire. I am, thank you. Still got a bit of a tickle, but I am feeling a lot better. But as I just said a few minutes ago, I've not had the headache that I'd had for like over a week, literally for the last couple of days. So hopefully things are starting to look up. Right, I'm just going to bring this in and put this down onto this fabric mat, and I'm putting it right side down because I'm going to get the ScanNCut to draw me my seam allowance, which I'm going to use as my sewing line. So I'm just going to put both of these on here and just give it a little rub down. I've been finding with this mat, while I've been playing with it in this last week, that I don't need to use the spatula. I don't think it was, Ellen, no, but I've not been out anyway because obviously we're in lockdown. But no, I think it was just a head cold. It was one of them, you know, those sinusy ones that when you move your head you feel like you've got like a bowling ball rolling round in your head, and it was just giving me like a constant headache and making me feel tired. So literally breakfast has been, you know, breakfast and paracetamol, and then tea and paracetamol. But as I say, no, I don't think it was anything, you know, more sinister. So 2 bits of fabric already now on the mat. Let me just see what you're saying. Used to make all my clothes, but my back won't let me now. Oh, did you, Karen? I've made a couple of, I mean, I started sewing probably when I was in my 20s, and I did make a couple of clothing items then, but literally just from a pattern, and they weren't by any means anywhere near perfect. And then I went away from sewing for quite a few years and kind of came back to it maybe about 10 years or so ago, but I literally only just do very simple, you know, like home decor type things now. But as I say, it might be about 5 or 6 years ago, I don't even know why I came across a pattern and it was lovely, and I just thought, oh, I just need to try that. So I bought this fabric and made a little girl's dress, and it turned out absolutely perfectly. I was bowled over. I loved it. And I think I put it on my website or on eBay, and I sold it, and I've never made another one since, but this is just some of the remnants of the fabric. So Maria's saying, love your programme, blessings from Daytona, Nevada. Oh, same to you, Maria. Thank you for being here. And to all our US friends, I hope you've had a good Thanksgiving weekend. So Anna's saying, do you still have to use the fabric support sheet with this mat? No, not at all, Anna. That's the beauty of this mat. You don't need anything ironed onto your fabric, and you don't need anything at all on the mat at all. As I say, there is going to be a blog post with the video for when I was making these little coin purses, and it's all explained in there, but I will obviously try and, you know, remember to tell you everything tonight. But if you've got any questions, yeah, just answer. But no, you don't need anything. Right, I'm going to flip you to the machine. Find my spatula, and I'm just going to go into the basic shapes. Now I can see on my screen that I'm on my ScanNCut, but on the internet you're still looking at the fabric. So there we go, here we are, we've caught up. So I'm going to go into the basic shapes. I'm going to grab a square. I'm going to say that I want 4. I'm going to leave the size at the default size that it comes in at, which is 3.94 inches. And I'm going to say set. Okay, now I've got the 4 squares on the mat, and I've just realised I don't need them that size. I was thinking I was doing the other project, but not to worry, I'll adjust them now from here. So I'm going to go into edit. I'm going to go into the 3 red boxes. I'm going to choose the box on the right hand side, which chooses everything on my mat. And I'm going to say OK. I'm going to come into object edit. I'm going to group them and then see if I can change the size from here. Right, I'm going to start again. Let's go home. Sorry, I'll do it the right way. And then, so basic shapes, square. What size do I need? 2.5 inches. So I'm going to take the size down to 2.5 because I can't be bothered trying to work out the maths. Okay, 2.5 inches. Just checking that that's right in my notes. I'm going to say I want 4 and say set. So I've got 4 2.5 inch squares on the mat. I'm going to go to edit, choose the 3 red boxes, the box on the right hand side that will choose everything on my mat, say OK, go into object edit and come down to this icon here, which is group. So these are now a group. I'm going to come to the seam allowance, and by default mine is automatically set to 1/4 inch. If yours is set differently, this is where you can change it, but the default is 1/4 inch. I'm going to turn the seam allowance on and say OK. So now it's added 1/4 inch to each of those 4 boxes because they were grouped. So now I'm going to ungroup them. I'm just going to click anywhere on the page to deselect, and I'm just going to put 2 on one side of my mat and 2 on the other, because I've got obviously 2 pieces of fabric on this mat. And then I'm just going to say OK. I'm going to go to OK again and add. And then this time I'm going to go back into patterns. I'm going to choose the square again, only this time I want a 5 inch square. So I'm going to take the size up to 5 inch. And I can see these comments, but I'll catch them in a minute when I've just done this. Okay, so I've got one 5-inch square, and I'm going to say, okay, now it's telling me there's not enough space on the mat, so I'm going to take the size down and just make it small and say set. And then I'm going to bring it in and resize it. There should be more than enough room, but anyway. So with this one that I want to be 5 inches, I've got it selected. I'm going to say Object Edit, come to Resize, and then make it 5 inches. I'm hoping I'm actually doing this right, because I've just got literally very minimal scribbled notes on a piece of paper, and I've not even looked at these for a few days. I was making these earlier on in the week, so this could all go horribly wrong, but you know, it wouldn't be a Sunday Night Live, would it? So 5 inches. So what I've got here now are 1 square that's 5 inch and 4 squares that are 2.5 with a seam allowance. So I need to add the seam allowance onto this one. So I'm just going to move one of those other squares out of the way for a minute. Select my 5-inch square, say OK, come to the seam allowance and turn it on for that 5-inch square. So everything on the mat now has got a 1/4 inch seam allowance on it. So what I'm going to do now is load this mat, oh sorry, just knocked the camera, into the ScanNCut machine. I'm just going to turn you around ever so slightly. Okay, I'm going to take the blade out. I've got the original pen holder that you use with these tiny pens, and this is a fabric pen, and the way you know it's a fabric pen is it's got a coloured band around the top. This one's purple, which means it's air erasable, and the other one is a blue band, which means it's water erasable. Now, for all the other ones I've made, I've used the water erasable, but they were light fabrics, and this is a darker fabric, so I'm going to go with the purple in the hope that I might be able to see my drawn lines better. And you know it goes with this holder because there's a little hole, like a dimple in the top, where you put your lid. Then you open it up, drop your pen in and pop that in, and that's just going to go into the machine. Turn you around a bit more, and then I'm going to go onto the ScanNCut screen and I'm going to say OK. I'm going to say OK again and OK again, and then I'm going to go, oh no, I've gone too far, I want to do background scan, so I'm going to use the background scan and say start, and while that's scanning through I'll have a look at your messages. So what are people saying? Hi Karen Freeman. Anita, hi Anita is saying, hi Ashley, just finished my dinner so a bit late. Fabric is lovely. I have the CM900, love how it cuts out the fabric with the seam allowance. Glad you're feeling better. Yes, I am feeling a lot better, thank you. Donna Jo is saying, hi Ashley, I enjoyed your class last Thursday. Are you feeling better? Yeah, a lot better, thank you, and I'm glad you liked the class. I'm going to be doing another one in January. I've just been working on it literally all day yesterday. Similar designs but not exactly, and I'm thinking it will probably be birthday cards, so it'd be like a card making craft along again, but we'll be making, and it makes 12 cards, the one I'm going to be doing in January, because I'm thinking that, you know, start of the year we all need cards, don't we? So if we make a batch in January we'll have at least a dozen to go at. But anyway, that's January. So I'm just going to move these bits now. I don't want to keep moving the camera backwards and forwards, so hopefully you can see, but you might not be able to because of the glare on my screen. I'm going to move this down, and I'm keeping my fingers crossed that I've actually got, I don't think I've got enough fabric. I don't think I cut my fabric big enough. But what I can do is, if I take the seam allowance off one of them, let me see if I can do this. Don't think I've got enough room. Just trying to jiggle the fabric. Don't think I've got enough room. I've obviously not cut my fabric big enough. I'm gonna have to zoom in and see. I might be able to just get it. If I can move this one over ever so slightly. It's going to be tight this, but we'll see how we go. Right, okay, select and draw. Right, I've got the pen in. I'm going to start this off, and it's going to draw my seam allowance for these 5 shapes. Okay, I'm working at all different angles, so if I go a bit quieter than normal in some places, it's literally because I've got cameras above me and on either side of me. Hi Vicky, hope you're okay. Dog needed a walk. I can see the screen clearly on the angle. Sometimes your hand is in the way, but can't help that. I know, sorry. It's because I just tried to move it just so you could see it drawing. Right, so I'm going to turn you back ever so slightly. I'm going to say okay. And then what I'm going to do now, I'm going to take out this pen. Yes, it's the air erasable pen, Vicky. I'm using the one with the purple end. I'm going to put the fabric blade in. I know you can't see this, but you will in a minute. I'm going to put the fabric blade in. Lost my spatula already. And I'm going to say select, and this time I'm going to say cut and start. In fact, I'm just going to pause it 1 minute. Because something doesn't look right. We'll go with it. If it's not right, I'll have to cut another piece of fabric. Right, so I'm just going to move you back. So we've got the bare fabric on a bare fabric mat with the fabric blade. I've drawn a seam allowance and now hopefully it's cutting. It's going to be a tight cut because I've not cut this piece of fabric with the strawberries big enough. Let's see, I think we've got everything. Right, let me flip you back to the desk so you can see. Let's just unload the mat. I'm just going to take the fabric blade out and put it away and put my other blade back in because I think I've finished with the machine for now. So I'm just going to make myself a little bit more room on my desk. Have I done everything? I think I've done everything. So I'm going to turn the ScanNCut machine off and just move it out of the way to give me a little bit more room. And hopefully now, when I peel this off, these should be cut. Okay. Oh, it was tight that, look at that. Right, so that's the waist. So I've got, let me just bring this in. So I've got one piece of fabric that's was the 5" with the seam allowance. You can see that's the right side up. 2 pieces that were 2.5 plus the seam allowance in the strawberries, and 2 pieces that were 2.5 plus the seam allowance in the deep pink. I'm just going to move my mat out of the way for now. Caroline's saying, hi Ashley and all, I'm late but we'll watch the replay. Don't worry Caroline, it's fine. Ellen's saying, is that a specific fabric mat? Yes Ellen, it's the fabric mat and the fabric blade that go with the auto blade machines. So any DX model or SDX model. Charlotte's saying, it's so nice to see that pretty much anything has worked around. Hi Dawn, she's saying, hi Ashley, I hope you are well. I have only just joined, so we'll catch up later. What is it you're making? Okay, coasters, Dawn, basically just simple sewn coasters that should be about 5 inches square, roughly, as a finished size. I'll just leave them there till it catches up. I'm just going to have a quick drink. And then I need to flip over to my sewing machine. Oh dear. Right, I'm going to put my sewing machine on. Can you see those now, Dawn? I just need to move my iPad. And let's see if we can get my sewing machine in. This is going to be a feat in itself. Right, let me flip the camera. Dawn, the back piece, let me flip you back. The back piece was 5 inches plus the seam allowance. So this is now 5.5, I think. Yeah. And the 4 squares were 2.5 plus the seam allowance. And then I've cut, which I forgot to mention, a piece of like thin wadding, and this is 5-inch square, and this hopefully will sit within those lines there. So how did I make it? I can't remember. Let's go back to the machine. So basically what I'm going to do, I'm going to put I need to move you back again, sorry, flicking backwards and forwards. Dawn saying thank you, they look lovely. Okay, right, what can you see? Can you see my desk? Yeah, hopefully you can. Right, so I'm just going to use the 2 small squares for now, and this is how I'm going to put them together. So opposites. So I'm going to put the right sides together on both of them, and because I've got the drawn line on the back of each, I know where I'm going to be able to sew. Not sure how well you're going to see this, but it is there. You might see it better on this one, but you'll hopefully see it in a minute. So I'm just going to sew these together following the sewn line. So I'm just going to flip you back and hopefully put this under the machine. And I've got a camera literally right next to the machine, but it's just a case of finding the right angle so you can see what I'm doing and I can see what I'm sewing. It might have to just be like this, I'm afraid. Linda's saying you are so good and handy with your cameras. No, I'm not. It's a bit like mission control. Right, literally all as I'm going to do, I'm not messing about with any stitches on my machine. I'm just using a basic straight stitch. I've got my regular foot on and I'm just going to sew down one side following that drawn line that the ScanNCut put in for me. And I'm going to do that on both of these pieces. Now my hand's probably going to get in the way as well, sorry. So this is kind of what we've got so far. Don't know if I can move you. Let me see if I can move you a little bit. If I move you too much, I might knock the camera. Let me see if I can move the machine. Okay, so that's the first one, and you can press it. Well, I pressed, I must admit, as I went along. I've got my iron, so I might just leave that one there for now. Let's see if I can just get my iron on. Get my little iron warmed up, and then I'm going to bring the next one in and do exactly the same. Follow that drawn line that the machine put in for me. Okay, so there's the other one. So if I just give them a quick press and then I'll sew them together. So just bear with me 1 minute, please. Okay, so that's how we're looking now. So I'm just going to flip them. So I've got opposite patterns, and I'm going to put these two together and follow the sew lines again, the draw lines again that the machine put in for me. Now obviously, you know, this is a coaster. If you want to be really specific, make sure that your seams line up, but at the end of the day I'm doing this for a video, so it may not be perfect. So again, I'm going to sew down that drawn line. I'm trying to keep my hands out of the way. I've never had my camera on my sewing machine at this angle before, so this is all new, so if it's not perfect, I'm sorry. Ellen's saying that's fine. Ashley. Barbara's saying the drawn line is great guidance and no pins. I know, that's why I tried it out, and it seemed to look, it's come out really well, hopefully, so fingers crossed this one will. We can see everything fine, Mandy's saying. Okay, perfect. Thank you, Mandy. So let's just okay, so that's how we're looking now. I'm just going to give it another quick press. Right, let me flip you back. Just going to have another quick drink of my drink. Oh dear. Right, so that's how it's looking now, and my seams actually line up pretty spot on. Quite impressed with that. But I have to say, let me just show you this. These first two I made I didn't use the ScanNCut machine. I just cut the squares myself using a rotary cutter and a ruler, and they're not as perfect as this one, which is the one I did do using the ScanNCut to draw my sew lines and everything. So, you know, it does, I think that the draw lines definitely do help. Right, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to flip this over so it's right side down. My nails look beautiful. Oh, thank you. Since we've been in lockdown this year, I've been doing my own gel nails. I bought a gel kit. They actually need doing, but thank you. I'm going to bring in this piece of wadding that I cut at 5 inches square, and then I'm just going to pop this. The seams are perfect, aren't they? I know. Go me. I'm just going to pop this back under the machine, and I'm just going to do a little quick bit of quilting before I put the backing on. Okay, so I've got this under the machine. Again, I'm not messing about moving my needle or doing anything fancy. I'm just going to line up the edge of the foot where this centre seam line is, and I'm just going to sew a line down, and then I'll do the same on the other side. I think I did lines on either side of both. So let's just do this without getting my hands in the way. I'm going to turn it round, line the foot up with this side of it now. And then do the same here. So it really is a very simple and quick project, just made from scraps of fabric. So and using the ScanNCut to do the draw lines for you just makes the sewing go together so easy. So this is nearly done. Going to flip you back. So I'm just going to cut off the threads, any loose threads. This might not be perfect, as I say, because I'm doing it on video, but so now I just want to see if my strawberries have got any particular direction, but it doesn't really matter. I'm going to put these two right sides together now. So I've got the wadding on the back, that's on the bottom, with the fabric right side up, and then put this backing piece right side down, okay? And again, I'm going to follow the sewn line. And the reason that I like to cut my wadding a bit shorter, I tend to do this on anything that I use wadding, is because I find it doesn't make your seams as bulky when you're sewing, and especially on, you know, small things like this. So wadding down, right side up, and then the right side of the backing piece. And then I'm going to sew round all 4 sides, but I'm going to leave an opening in one side so I can turn it the right side out. Okay, so I'm just going to flip you back. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to start, let me just line up that line. Sorry if my hand's in the way. So I'm going to start here, I'm going to do a few stitches forward and then a few back, come down a bit and stop, and then I'm going to leave a gap and then carry on. In fact, I might need to just start a little bit further back. So I'm going to stop there, take the needle out of the machine, and then come down near this end and go forwards and backwards again, and then carry on and finish all the other sides. So I've left that opening. I'm not sure how accurate I'm going to be because I can't actually see the sew line from the angle I'm sat at, but I'm hoping that we'll be still on that drawn line. Obviously when you've got your machine directly in front of you, you'll be able to follow this line perfectly. And catch up with your comments in a minute. Those seams are spot on. What lovely and quiet your sewing machine is. Yeah, it is quite quiet, isn't it? Right, so I'm on the last bit. So let's just follow this sewn line as best I can see it. Because it is fading as well, to be honest, now. Because it is air erasable. Just missed my corner there, so I'm just going to have to come back round. I think we're back to where we were. So let's flip you back. Move my machine out of the way for a minute. Just cut some of these threads. Okay, so that's what we've got so far with a hole in it. Okay, you can clip your corners if you want to. Just make sure you don't clip through your sewing. If you do, just pop it back in the machine. I'm not going to do that one because that one's a bit close to the edge, but I'll clip the threads. Okay, and then where is it? Where's my opening? There. So now you need to just come inside and start to pull it through. So if you just take your time, I tend to go for a corner and try and pull a corner through. And then it's just a case of wriggling it all through, and it will come through. And if you take your time and go nice and slow, you won't rip your stitches or your seam. These would be great presents, you know, if you put them in a pack of 4 or something like that and tied them up with a ribbon, or make a box or something for them. Right, let me just find something to... I'm just going to use an old stylus and just poke out the corners. So now, when you pull, where this opening was, when you pull this together, usually your fabric wants to start to roll in, because obviously we've got to seal that up. So I'm going to do a top stitch all the way around, but what I'm going to do, I'm just going to press it with the iron. So if you can just bear with me 1 minute. I've got my little mini iron and my little mini ironing board just next to me on the floor. So just bear with me 1 minute while I give this a quick blast. I'm back. So that's how it's looking so far. So literally now I need to seal up this opening. So you can either hand sew it, if you like hand sewing. Pot holders, yeah, I was actually thinking about making maybe something, you know, the same height, but maybe twice as wide. And that would be more like do they call it a mug rug, you know, where you put your mug on and then you snack. But these are basically just little coasters. So what I'm going to do, because I don't do hand sewing, I'm going to put this back in the machine and I'm going to sew as close as I can all the way around to the edge. So let's get this back in. Let's flip you back. So what I'm going to do with this one, I am going to move the needle on the machine because I want to, as I say, seal up. In fact, I'm not going to move the needle, I'm going to just move the foot so it's really, really tight to the edge, and see if I can do it this way. So let's see how we go. And then this is going to top stitch it and seal up that edge all in one go. Just need to wind this on another, just to get me closer to the edge. Could probably go a little bit more, but we'll see. As I say, this might not be perfect, but so for the person that just said they make pot holders, was it Marcia? You could do the same thing. You could cut and draw your sew lines depending on how big your fabric is with the ScanNCut. And if you've got this fabric mat and fabric blade, it would, you know, maybe make the cutting a bit quicker. Nearly there. I think we're back at the beginning. Might just be able to do one. Sorry, my hand's in the way again, isn't it? Oh no, we need to go back a bit. Just gonna, oh, I've lifted my needle up now, but not to worry. Okay. Let's take that out. Let's move that out of the way. Bring you back here. Cut off my threads. Got a couple of little threads on the back. And I think that's it. Now, can I zoom you in? I need to go that way, don't I? Hang on. There you go. So that's it. What do you think? Pat is saying, could you do a blanket stitch around the edge either by hand or on the machine? Yeah, you can if you've got a blanket stitch on your machine. I have, but I just, you know, like to just do simple sewing. But yeah, you could sew it by hand, or do it on your machine, or you could do a zigzag stitch or even a fancy stitch if your machine's got, you know, decorative stitches. Barbara's saying would look nice in the living room to match cushions. Definitely, yeah. This one is one I did on the channel a while ago. This is on the channel somewhere. This was like a scrap buster. So this is what I keep on my craft desk in here. But they're always handy to have. So that's the one I've just made. This is the one I made using the ScanNCut earlier on in the week. And as you can see, they are both exactly the same size. So using the ScanNCut to draw your sew lines and cut it for you definitely makes it go together a lot better. And these two are the two that I started making at the beginning of the week, and these I just cut with a rotary cutter and a ruler, so they're not quite the same size as the others. They're nearly, but not quite. They're definitely, you know, more perfect using the ScanNCut. Let me just zoom you out a little bit. So what do you think? Are you going to have a go? Would you give it a go? It's basic shapes, especially if you've got the fabric mat. Makes it a whole lot easier. Let me just turn my iron off. Just pull the plug on my iron. So JD Cougar saying really nice and quickly done. Yeah, definitely. As I say, and you know, it's obviously taken me a bit longer because I'm filming and flipping from one camera to another. When you actually make these, I've literally just cut 2 strips of fabric using scissors, put them on the mat, got the machine to draw it and cut it, and then literally whipped them out in no time. Dawn's saying beautiful. Vicky's giving me a thumbs up. Oh, thank you, Vicky. Just having a quick drink of my juice, sorry. So yeah, and they're a good size. So let me just get my tape measure. So the finished size is literally just under 5 inches. Yeah, you know, like an 1/8 under 5 inches, something like that. Alison saying I only have the CM900. Okay, well, Alison, you could do the same. You would either put the high tack support sheet on something like a low tack mat and just designate that mat then as your fabric mat, and do exactly the same. Put your fabric face down, draw on it, cut it using that high tack support sheet. Or you could put something like a heat and bond light ironed onto the back of all your squares and put that then on your mat with the heat and bond side up and draw on the heat and bond side. So you can do it with a 900. Charlotte's saying I'd love to try this after I get my machine. Where can I get a fabric mat? If you're in Barbara, Makers Superstore. You're in the UK, aren't you? I was talking to you, wasn't I, yesterday? Sorry, I've just realised who you are. Makersuperstore.com. Fabric mat and fabric blade, but you'd need to have a DX or SDX machine. So you have to have a machine that's got the auto blade technology, basically. Mandy G saying the accuracy is great. I make quilts and I should really use one of the quilt patterns. Yeah, definitely. I'm going to get myself the 12 by 24 fabric mat, and then I'm going to be able to have a play with making bigger projects. And I was thinking maybe cutting quilt blocks, because you can see just from this small, you know, 4 block here, how well the seams and everything go together. And it's the same on this one, you know, they went together perfectly. And I'm sure that's because, you know, you draw in the lines and you know where you're sewing. I mean, these that I did by hand without using the drawn line are pretty decent, but they're definitely more perfect using the ScanNCut. Yeah, Barbara's saying you've got the SDX 1200. Yeah, well, so Makers then, Barbara, makerssuperstore.com. If you go to their website and in the search box on the home page, if you just type ScanNCut fabric mat or fabric mat, it should bring it up. And they should have the blades as well. That's where mine came from anyway. But I've had mine a while, but I'm sure they're in stock. Alison saying, thanks, Ashley. So inspirational. Learn something new every time. You're welcome, Alison. Give it a go. As I say, don't think because you've got a 900 you can't do this. I've got fabric projects on the channel going back a few years that I did with my 900. So there's ways around it. Linda Lee's saying, Ashley, thank you so very much. Must leave. Have a nice week. Yes, same to you. Okay, so that's my little project for tonight. So it's been a bit of all sorts tonight, hasn't it? Drawing, cutting and sewing all in one video. Has anybody got any last minute questions before I go, or anything they want to ask? Yeah, same to you, Alison. Are you putting your Christmas tree lights on? Oh no. I'm trying to hold out till December. If it was up to me this year, they wouldn't go up at all. Have fun with that, Alison. Okay, I'll just wait a few minutes longer. I can't see any questions or comments or anything coming through. Ellen, you're welcome. Barbara, great to see something different to try. Thank you so much. You're welcome. I've got the fabric bug now. Now I've got the fabric mat and the fabric blade. I want to make more stuff with fabric. You're welcome, JD Cougar. Thank you. Take care. Charlotte, just to say thank you once again. Always a good time. Oh, you're welcome. Thank you, Charlotte. Patty's saying thank you so much, Ashley. Such a talent you are. Not really. Just simple projects. Okay, can't see any last minute questions or comments, so I'll just give it a few more seconds because I know there is a delay on YouTube, but hopefully Donna Jo's saying so pretty. Alison's saying she's sending a video to a boyfriend. Lisa's saying thank you. Hi Lisa, did I say hello to you at the beginning? I'm sorry if I didn't. Would you consider doing a video where you use the fusible on the back for applique? Yes. I kind of did that when I made that fabric vinyl project, you know, with the, what was she called? Sunbonnet Sue. But yeah, what kind of thing, Vicky? Pat Riley's saying thanks, very informative. You're welcome, Pat. We can certainly get some fabric and put some iron on and cut some shapes. Or I know what we could do. I was thinking, as I say, about making one of these double the width. We could do maybe a patchwork on one side and a plain section on the other with some applique on. Pat's saying don't forget the thumbs up. Oh, thank you, Pat. That's lovely of you. I've just realised I've not got one of my lamps on. I've got the big lights on above, but it's looking okay, I think, isn't it? This office is so bright, it's got literally a ceiling full of inbuilt lights. Could be a Christmas design on a coaster. Okay, Vicky, leave it with me. I'll see what I can come up with for next week. I'll have a look in the machine, and I know there are some Christmas designs, and I'll work something out. Yeah, we'll try and do that maybe next week if anybody is interested in doing another fabric project. JD Cougar saying, be sure to hit the thumbs up, everyone. Don't see any yet. Okay, that's a good idea. Okay, all right, I'll have a look at that this week and see if I can come up with something that's in the machine. You could make a table runner. Okay, that would be quite a big project though, wouldn't it, for a live? Mandy G's saying, I did a thumbs up at the beginning. Perhaps they don't show until after the live. Okay, don't worry about it. It's fine. Right, I'm going to go then. So thanks everybody for joining me. Have a safe week, and hopefully I will see you